there, welcome back. So look at this lovely pile of goodies. Now I might not use this in all of this video, but hopefully majority of it you'll see. So I'm just showing you some lovely glitters there, and some of these lovely pieces. I think they're of a type of, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, some sort of wooden stem thing. We got them a long time ago. Just showing you a few more bits and bobs, alcohol inks, acrylic inks. And I'll tell you now, unfortunately, this is the beginning of a video that when the project was an absolute disaster. And I know if you've seen our community post, I said I'd put it up, but it was so horrifically bad that I couldn't do it. So I'm very sorry about that. But in this particular video, we do use this mould. In fact, no, we don't even use the mould, honestly. So yeah, sorry, this one a little bit disorganised, but you know, what the heck. I'm also showing you another mould there because this is going to be a series of not one, not two, but 3 videos, all centred around autumn or fall themed bowls. So nice little bits of, you know, functional art pieces. Oh, and look at this, just showing you this lovely handful of yumminess. That was a mixture of faux pearls, which you can get from any craft place, whether it's online or in your high street. And also some citrine chips, which is a semi-precious gemstone. Now, this lovely, lovely bowl mould, we don't actually use. So I know I keep showing it to you. I'm very sorry about that. But look, I'm just showing you the faux pearl. So you can see that we've got a mixture of greens, lime greens, a bit of a sort of like faded gold, a warm creamy oyster cream colour. Really, really gorgeous, really gorgeous. So that I'd actually mixed up some of the faux pearls with some large round pieces of what I call confetti glitter. It's like this sort of thing. This was from The Works, which is a shop here in the UK, high street shop. But obviously you can use whatever you want to create your bowl. So here we are. Look at this. Now I do use this. I am in love with Arteza mica powders. That one I think was called Moss Green, and Vista Pigments. So you haven't seen us use Vista Pigments for a little while. Also got some of this lovely glitter. Now this is a bit like the white coloured glitter that we've got in exactly the same pot, which I've referred to in some other videos as, well, magic glitter. So it looks very deep coloured in the container, but when you add it to resin, a lot of that colour is toned down and you just see a little pops of the colour of the glitter. Now these are the citrine chips. They are a semi-precious gemstone, and we have taken apart an old bracelet that we had, believe it or not. So we're upcycling, recycling, and mixed it all in together. So that's what I'm just showing you here with my lovely miniature spade, which is available from Jules at Resin Jules. Her information, contacts will be at the bottom of the description box of this video. And as usual, everything that we're able to link to that we've used will be in the description box. Now, I've mixed up some resin, 1-to-1 mixing ratio, and we've got some little individual silicone mixing pots here. So hopefully not clumsily, honestly, I was having a bit of a nightmare day. I'm going to decant, as you can see what I'm doing here now, some of the resin into these little individual mixing jugs. There we go. That's it. Now this resin isn't Tea Expert, it is another brand that we are currently using, although I have to say I do prefer the Tea Expert resin. This one that I'm currently using, I can't remember off the top of my head the name, but I will link it in the description box below. But it's a lot thicker than Tea Expert. It can be a lot more bubbly as well, which is unfortunate. I mean, this doesn't look like it's got micro bubbles in it because I've let it stand for about 5 minutes. So we're going to mix the first thing up. We're going to add in, using a mini stir stick or popsicle stick, some of that beautiful moss green Arteza mica powder. Just put it on the surface, and then just because this is quite a fine mica powder, just immediately stirring it in. There we go. So stir, stir, stir. I was stirring it this quickly. It's not flyaway, not very flyaway, this mica powder. But as usual, when you're using resin, make sure you wear gloves, you wear your respirator mask, you work in a well-ventilated area, and that you wear old clothes that, you know, you don't mind getting grubby. So there we go. So just make sure you protect yourself. So here we go with the Vista pigment. Now, these are lovely pigments. We bought ours from Maker Central, which happens every year here in the UK in May. It's at the Birmingham NEC. If you haven't been and you get the opportunity to go, go. It's a fantastic 2-day event. You can go for both days or just one day. Tickets are usually available, but it's organised by Nick Zametti, who is a fantastic YouTube creator. But there are lots of other people there, artists, YouTubers and so on. And it's a great day to network, meet people, make your friends, and also make quite a few purchases. So just stirring these up. So this is where we bought the Vista pigments from, but I think that was a couple of years ago now. So just comparing the mica powder mix with the Vista pigment mix. So here we go in this little mini, and this is so cute, heart-shaped silicone mixing pot. Sorry, I love these. They're cute. I think we've only got a couple of them as well. There we go. Again, available through online purchases. I think these were from Temu, but they're really, really cute. So here we are. Look, this is the Magic Glitter Mark II. Mark 1 being the white one, Mark 2 being this one. So it looks like it's got quite a warm corally pinky colour to it, but I don't know if you can see the little spots and flecks of gold. Can you see how it almost like it sort of dissolves across the surface of the resin, if that makes sense. So I'm stirring it in here now. And you see, yes, the resin has gone a slightly different colour, but look, all those different pops of the colours of glitter in it. It's very fine glitter, but it's not flyaway. So here we are with another one. We're keeping going. Now, this. I got together my mix of faux pearls, they're pearl beads actually, mixed a tiny bit in and then thought, no, let's pour them into the silicone mixing jug. It'll just be easier. Also, I thought. So these are the faux pearls. They are the citrine chips. It's that large, round, almost looks like you've done a hole punch through a piece of copper sheet. That sort of size glitter, if you know what I mean. Or confetti glitter, or someone, I think, referred to them once as, is it table decoration scatters that you can do? Quite often see at weddings and things like that. So I'm just putting all of those into this mixing jug. And I'm going to coat it all by stirring it through in with the resin that's in there. Just trying to get every last little bit of the glitter mix out. Glitter bead mix out. So there we go. So again, just going to use the mini popsicle stick or stir stick that I've got there. Just make sure you're using a stir stick that is the right size for whatever you are using to mix, or whatever the size of the vessel is that you are mixing things in. Obviously, don't try and use a massive spatula in with this, because obviously it's one, it might not fit. 2, it's just not going to do what you want it to do. So as you can see, I'm just carefully mixing. Sorry, you got a shot of my gloved hand there, really. Just trying to coat all those individual elements in this lovely mix of goodies with the resin. There we go. So just mixing that up. Decided I needed a bit more of the resin in it, so just poured a bit more in so you can see the micro bubbles on the surface there of the resin. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't have to have the micro bubbles. You can put it through a machine that gets a debubbling machine, as I refer to it, or a degassing machine. We do have one, but to be honest, because we've got glitter, a bit of glitter and so on in with this particular project, I thought, well, to be honest, if we've got a few micro bubbles, it's not going to matter. Now, here's the mould. And here I go with some more of this resin, just pouring it in and pouring it around the edge of the bowl, because what I want to do is try and get it so we've got a thin layer of resin, just clear resin. Obviously you don't have to have this as just clear resin. You could have it as coloured resin or with glitter or with foils, totally up to you, of course. And I'm going to try and manipulate it now down the sides. So I've decided I'm going to tilt the mould and carefully do this. Don't spill it over yourself. Just very carefully do this. That's it. So it's just going off the sides of the mould, but inside, underneath that lip on the edge and down to the bottom of it. There we are. Okay. So this mould that we're using currently, I'd never used before. It almost looks like, if you could see it sideways on, it looks like the way a round tablecloth would go over a table. So it's got a sort of up and down edge. I don't know a better way of describing it. But yeah, and it was from Temu, this one. So it will be linked in the description box. Any discount codes that we have will also be there if you are you're new to Temu. They are great for purchasing any kind of craft things for your home as well. We haven't had anything for our home from it. We have had craft things from it, obviously molds and things like that, and we found them to be great. Very, very reasonable, but do make sure you check the measurements on things before you order as well, because we've been caught out a couple of times. So there we go. You can see I've emptied out that mixing jug with this lovely citrine, the chips of citrine and the faux pearl beads and the confetti glitter. It's all coming out there. There we are. I'm just making sure I'm getting every last little bit out. So actually, if you wanted to do a clear sides to this mould, that would look nice. Let them cure, and then you could just do the base like this if you wanted to. But do remember, you need to have a flat surface over the top of these pearls. So you might have found yourself, maybe the pearls aren't suitable because they're too round, they stick up too much. So basically what I'm saying is it needs to be level. Right, now this isn't moving anywhere, and in order to get it down the sides, yes, you could pour some more clear resin in the middle, but this resin is really thick. That's the other thing I found with this particular brand. It's very, very thick. And I didn't want it to be a lot of clear resin and not a lot of anything else. So I took my spatula, my lovely spatula there, and sorry, you can't see some of it off camera because of the size of this mould. I am just persuading that lovely citrine chip mix and faux pearls to go down the sides of the mould, and all I'm doing to do that, oh, we got a little, there we go, I've swapped over, we've got a stir stick instead. There you go, that's a better viewpoint. So as you can see, carefully just moving all those lovely bits of embellishments and things over down to the sides, just to get it to go down the side of that lovely bowl and into the top part. So just continue to do this all the way around. You will get a little bit messy on your gloves with this, unfortunately. Don't forget, clean your gloves up, or take them off, put a different pair on, put another pair on. There we go. But always make sure that you do wear gloves. There we are. So again, just making sure that I'm getting as much down the sides as possible. So that will then mingle in with the clear resin that we poured in first. There we are, making sure that everything is coated. You kind of fingers crossed that you don't get any little air bubbles or air pockets forming. So in other words, so the outer surface of this bowl and the inner surface will be nice and smooth. I'm just hoping that it encapsulates all those lovely bits and bobs of the bits and bobs, or that it encapsulates it nicely in the clear resin, and then when it cures, fingers crossed, you've got a lovely smooth outer and inner surface of the bowl. So if you've joined us today, I'm aware of the fact that this video does go on for 26 minutes, I believe. 26 minutes, 27 seconds it's saying on this timer. Thank you for joining us. It is a slightly longer video. We have found recently that some people that are watching are preferring the slightly longer videos rather than sort of 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. That's not to say all of our videos are going to be of this duration. We do have quite a lot of videos in our playlist. If you haven't seen any before and you're new to us, welcome. If you're not one of our subscribers, why not subscribe to our channel? It's free. hit the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to share the video. If you joined us in the live chat for this, hello to everybody in the live chat. Again, there's no obligation to join us in the live chat. You can just watch if you wish. But yeah, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It really helps with us with the YouTube algorithms that are in the background that help to promote our videos. And the more our videos are promoted, the more likely obviously we'll be able to be watched and viewed. It puts our watch time hours up, and once we get to the magic number of 4,000 watch hours, which we thought we'd got to before, but unfortunately the way the algorithm works we hadn't quite made it, then we can apply for being to get monetized. And what that means is that they will then, YouTube can then, will give them permission to add, say, a 10-second advert. Those adverts, if they're watched and not skipped, will produce revenue for us of maybe like 1 or 2 pence every time it's viewed, and then any revenue we get from that we'll then be able to plough back into, we'll invest back into this channel. We'll be able to buy more things, resin, moulds, and so on. Maybe invest in a camera rather than, because all our filming is done off of our phones. It'll help us tremendously, and yeah, so we will just plough that money back into the channel. Right, so as you can see, what I've done is I've also poured in the resin that had the glitter, the resin that had the artisan mica powder, and the one with the Vista pigment, and I just poured it any which way. Now what I'm trying to do here, and I didn't know if this is going to work or not, is to try and get it to incorporate down the sides a little bit, because I didn't want the beads completely covered. But I didn't know if it was going to be honest with you, it's the first time I've done this. And this is very much, as they say, off the cuff or organic in its production. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but because I haven't done this before in this particular way or method, use this sort of technique, it was very much a, well, let's just do it and see what happens, see if it works. There we go. All I'm doing there is I've got a popsicle stick and trying to persuade this resin to go down the sides of the mould by putting the popsicle stick down in between the inner and the outer sides of the mould, creating a gap, and then the resin naturally moves down there. Now, yeah, you'll see in the finished product I had a bit of success with this, but to be honest, the finished piece, I actually think it looks lovely. There we go. So there we are. Just doing it for a bit more. You can see that was a good shot there of me actually showing you what I was doing. Of course, this also helps to get rid of any little air pockets that may have happened. Just popped a little faux pearl back down the side as well. Now, as you can see, I mean, that looks nice, but it's not particularly pretty. Plus, I realised at this point that there wasn't quite enough resin in the bowl. So all I'm doing here is just adding some more of the resin that's got the Vista pigment in it. There we are. There we are, and then just giving it a little bit of a swizzle round with my stir stick. Now, this is me just trying to gauge how much more resin I needed to put in the mould. Decided, I think, at this point that, yeah, I think I've got enough in there. And I'm just giving it a bit of a swirl with the stick, trying to get the 2 different types of coloured resins to mix together. Here we are. Here's an aerial shot or a flyby. Can you see the sides there? Oh, and the resin I had left over, I've poured into that there, which is a coaster. So we will demold that on another occasion because it does need another layer of resin on the back of it. So I'm sorry, you won't see that in this particular video. Got some not look like little bubbles come to the surface there, but it's not. It's actually the mica powder, because I did dust this mould with mica powder before pouring in the leftover resin. Thought I tapped it out to make sure I'd got rid of the excess, but obviously there was still some in there. So this is the demold. Now look how that has cured. It almost looks like some lovely green onyx or green marble. And look at that down the sides. Can you see what I mean by an uneven edged bowl? It literally looks like the edge of a tablecloth round a round table. So struggled a bit because it was the first time trying to demould this, but eventually managed to get there. Now, go. Now I do keep my gloves on for demould. I've actually got on a pair of white cotton gloves and then my purple non-latex free gloves over the top. And this is for comfort for my hands, and also because I've got quite a lot of sensitivity on my skin. So this is what I do. It does make demoulding these projects a bit difficult. And as you see, I've managed to actually rip one of them there. But I'm okay. You know, my skin is not going to be exposed to resin. And this is cured resin. So unless you've got ultra sensitive skin like I have, you wouldn't actually need to wear the double gloves like I do. But totally up to you if you want to do that. I do it mainly for comfort. So there we go. And also protection. So just trying to pull each bit down. This was quite stiff actually, this mould. I was surprised. But then it holds its shape really well when you've got the liquid resin in it and it's curing. So I suppose it has to have a certain amount of thickness and rigidity to it, because there's nothing else that supports this mould. Now, at this point, I was getting a little bit fed up with demoulding, and frustration was setting in, because I really wanted to see what it looked like, and it was just, not impressed, really not impressed. Hence why my hands aren't in shot. I think I've renewed the other glove that had ripped as well. And here we go again. There we go. Yes, new glove has gone on. New gloved hands. I've pulled them on a bit tighter, firmer, closer. And here we go. We're trying again. Oh, look, a little sneaky peek there of those lovely faux pearls, which look like they floated up a bit compared to where the resin chips have gone. Now, looking at this here, I thought, I didn't pull white into this project. And I realised, of course, it was the inside of the mould. But anyway, yeah. So when you do demould, this was the following day. Now, I could have left it another 12 hours or so because some bits of it were still a little bit bendy. But, you know, I'm impatient, like a lot of resin artists are. Really want to see what it looks like at the demould stage as quickly as possible. Of course, you could use the quick curing resin, which is a 4-hour demould. I think some brands do. There's nothing stopping you from using that if that's what you want to do. But I was using what we have at the moment. So look at that. So you can see I am wrestling with this a bit. In fact, I'm really wrestling with it a bit to the point where it's almost pulling my gloves off my fingers, but we're getting there. I promise you, we're nearly at the complete demould stage. So I'm just trying to get this so it comes away from the mould. Because it's quite unusual and the edge is also quite unusual. It was fighting with me a bit here. It was fighting back a bit. But I'm pleased to say that all around the top of the edge of the bowl, the rim of the bowl, there are no air pockets. There are no little bubbles hiding. So it did its job. And I'm just so pleased. I'm really pleased with the result. Yes, it might not be to everybody's taste. But I think it does show autumn and fall sort of colours with the beautiful oranges, the golds, the green. Sorry, excuse me. And yeah, I do really like this piece. So as I said, this is video number one of 3 videos that we have done for you which is a bowl of one shape or another, or one theme or style of another. So here we go. There we are. Finally, everybody's saying the mould is away from the project. Look at that. So just a little bit of reshaping maybe, but look at this around the edge. You can see the glittery shine of the mica. We've got a bit of overpour here and spill, which I do need to sort out. I should do that with a deburring tool. And I just, you know, shave off that edge bit and shave off any sharp bits around the base there. But look at that. It's beautiful. It does look like folds of fabric, I think. But look at that, where all the confetti style glitter and the citrine chips have gone right down to the bottom. And the pearls, now I think this is because the pearls have got a hole through the middle of them. They're faux pearl beads. And we got them a long time ago from Hobbycraft, which is a shop over here in the UK. But there we are. That's the inside. Now, I think it looks beautiful. So here is the start of the final shots of it, from as many angles as I can possibly do. But I think it looks really, really beautiful. Really beautiful. Look at that. You see my crafting space area in the background there. And here we go with the final shots. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As you can see, I did wrestle with the mould a bit, but I'm sure with time, once I've done a couple more of the moulds, bowls using that mould, it'll come a little bit more easier to demould. And there we are, it's standing up on its edge there. You can see the beautiful green mica, the Vista pigments, the confetti glitter, the sheen and sparkle of the gold in the mica powder as well, and also in that glitter that I added in. Thanks for joining us. Take care.